and welcome to this trip report. Today I'm booked to fly from Toronto up to Calgary on board Air Canada's Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner in their premium economy cabin. The last time I flew Air Canada Premium Economy was back in July 2017 from Toronto to Vancouver, on just the second day after they launched the product on North American routes. That flight was also on the 787 Dreamliner, so I'm excited to see how the product has evolved in the past 5 years. It's 7:15 a.m. right now, and I'm just arriving at Toronto Pearson's Terminal 1. My flight to Calgary is scheduled to depart at 8:45 a.m., so I've got about an hour and a half to check in, get through security, and head to the lounge. Premium economy tickets with Air Canada do not receive complimentary access to the Maple Leaf Lounge. Rather, I have access thanks to my Star Alliance Gold status with Air Canada. Check-in for Air Canada domestic flights is at aisles 2 and 3, with business class and priority check-in located at aisle 1. I do have access to the priority check-in on a premium economy ticket, but I'm not checking a bag on this flight, so I'm just printing out my boarding pass at a self-serve kiosk. On the topic of checked baggage, however, Air Canada Premium Economy tickets include 2 complimentary checked bags, each weighing 23 kilograms. After printing my boarding pass, I'm off to security for the D gates, which is where all domestic flights in Terminal 1 depart from. At the entrance to the security checkpoint, there's an automated baggage sizer where Air Canada agents are asking passengers with larger-looking carry-on items to deposit them to have them sized. The line for security this morning is quite busy, but thanks to my Air Canada status, I have access to the priority line. Using this line, I was in and out of screening in under 5 minutes. Heading over to the lounge, you can access the domestic Maple Leaf Lounge using the elevator from either this level where security screening is located, or from the level below where the boarding gates are located. Access to this lounge is complimentary to frequent flyers with Air Canada 35K status or higher, along with Star Alliance Gold members and those traveling in Signature, Business, or Premium Rouge. After taking the elevator up to the 4th floor, you simply scan your boarding pass or provide your access details, and upon verification, you're free to head in and enjoy the lounge. It's 7:30 a.m. right now, and my flight boards at 8 a.m., so I've got about 30 minutes here before I have to head down to the gate. As for the lounge itself, it's quite large with lots of different seating spaces. There are lounger chairs around the perimeter with tons of windows, though no impressive views to write home about. There's an elevated area in the center of the lounge with more seating, and towards the interior of the lounge there are restrooms on the back wall, and a bar area and self-serve food counter beyond that. In terms of drinks on offer, there's wine, beer, and other alcohol available, though it's a little early for any of that, but there's also coffee and other hot beverages available. The counter with the self-serve food has a range of snacking items, including assorted muffins and other to-go items. There's also a fridge with water and cold to-go containers of fruit and overnight oats. I grabbed a water bottle, container of chocolate chip overnight oats, and a fresh fruit cup, along with a chocolate chip muffin. There are also hot food items available for order through QR codes located on the side tables at each seat in the lounge. The items on this menu include avocado toast, Western omelets, and French toast. It's 8:02 a.m. now, and boarding for my flight should be underway over at gate D24, so I've left the lounge and am making my way there now. Air Canada's boarding system is by assigned zone number, with Zone 1 for business class and Aeroplan Super Elite members, Zone 2 for Premium Economy and all other Aeroplan Elite status members, including Star Alliance Gold members, and Zones 3 and up for economy passengers without status. Taking a look at the aircraft bringing me to Calgary this morning, I'll be on board this 3-year-old Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner that was delivered new to Air Canada in April 2019. As of May 2022, Air Canada had a fleet of 29 Boeing 787-9s, with an additional 3 aircraft on order for delivery into 2023. After a quick scan of my boarding pass and a government ID check, I'm now heading down the jet bridge. We're boarding the aircraft through 2 jet bridges this morning, with one for business class and the other for economy and premium economy. Stepping on board the aircraft, to the left we have the business class cabin, or signature class as it's known on this aircraft for these cross-country flights, and to the right we have the premium economy cabin with economy class behind it. Stepping into the premium economy cabin, I'm booked in seat 14K for this flight, which is the window seat on the right side of the aircraft. Taking a look at the seat, they're quite wide and there's a good amount of legroom and space to stretch out. These seats are about 2 inches wider than the standard seats in economy and have about 8 inches more pitch. The premium economy cabin on these aircraft consists of 21 extra reclining seats in a 2-3-2 seating configuration, compared to the 3-3-3 configuration in economy class. It's a fairly small cabin with only 3 rows, and it's separated from economy class by a hard partition wall. In terms of carry-on baggage storage in the premium cabin, there's tons of space in the overhead bins, and I had no issue fitting my standard size rollerboard bag up there. My backpack, which I claimed as my personal article, fit quite easily under the seat in front as well. Settling into my seat and taking a look around, on the seat back in front we have a large touchscreen entertainment system with a small coat hook on the right side. The system can also be controlled using a remote control, which is stored in the seat back below the screen and pops out for use. Further down the seat back, we have a pocket for storing the provided reading materials, which include the safety information card for the Boeing 787-9 and a couple air sickness bags. This storage pocket also has a secondary, smaller tier for storing other small items. Taking a look at what was provided at the seat when we boarded the aircraft, we have a bottle of water and an Air Canada Clean Care Plus kit, which we'll take a closer look at later in the flight. Shortly before pushback from the gate, the flight attendant distributed the breakfast menus to all premium economy passengers. The breakfast options on this flight are either a parsley omelette with roasted potatoes, red pepper relish, and cottage cheese, or maple butter pancakes with a fruit compote, both of which are served with chicken sausage. They also distributed complimentary earbuds to use with the entertainment system. Taking a look at the view we have out the window from row 14, we're pretty much in line with the engine, looking out just ahead of the wing. We get a great view of those massive Dreamliner engines bearing Air Canada's distinctive red maple leaf. After all the premium economy passengers were on board and seated, the flight attendant came through again to take everyone's order for breakfast. 8:50 a.m. now, and with everyone settled in, the cabin doors are closed and we're ready for pushback from the gate. Expected flight time up to Calgary is just under 4 hours. With the engines up and running and the safety information video underway, we're beginning our taxi over to the threshold of runway 24 left in the southeast corner of Pearson Airport. After a short delay at the runway due to some bird activity in the area, it's finally our turn to go. Now that we're in the air and beginning our track towards Western Canada, let's take a look inside the Clean Care Plus kit that was provided at the seat when we boarded. Air Canada distributes these kits to all passengers on all of their flights as a part of their commitment to passenger safety during the pandemic. In today's kit, we have individual packets of hand sanitizer, disinfecting hand wipes, and a multi-layer disposable face mask. As of April 2022, when this flight was taken, face masks were still mandatory on flights to, from, or within Canada. Taking a look at the seatback entertainment screen next, the screen itself is tilt adjustable with a large range to allow for different viewing angles. On the bottom edge of the screen, there's a headphone port for connecting to the system audio and a USB 3.0 port for charging your devices. The remote for the screen is tethered to the seat with a cord and has various functions for navigating the system, though I find it much easier to use the touchscreen function of the system instead. Getting into the system, we have a similar range of content to that found on the entertainment screens in economy and business, with movies, TV shows, music, audiobooks, podcasts, and games all available on demand. There are lots of options to pick from, and the screen is easy to navigate and use with good touch sensitivity and responsiveness. You can also view the onboard food and drink menus in the screen, but the premium economy meal options don't show up in here for some reason. There's also a dedicated kids content section with movies, TV shows, music, and games targeted to kids. You can view sections with information on Air Canada and their partners, as well as their frequent flyer program Aeroplan. And of course, there's an in-flight maps section as well, where you have the option of either viewing the maps in full screen or in picture-in-picture mode while you do other things on the system. Tons of different viewing options here, and the 3D graphics quality is super high. In the top right corner of the screen, there's a settings menu where you can control the system brightness, volume, and language, as well as enable parental controls. You can also toggle the attendant call button from the screen, as well as control the overhead reading light. Also on the overhead panel with the reading lights, we have personal adjustable air conditioning vents. One of my favorite features of the 787 Dreamliner are the huge windows and the innovative dimmer technology for blocking out light. This means that instead of having pull-down window shades for blocking out light, each window has a button below it with 5 levels for allowing light in, ranging from fully open with no dimming to fully closed. Although it does take a little longer to activate than a regular window shade, it is very effective once it gets there. One interesting thing about the two windows in my seat is that they're controlled together, even though they each have their own dimmer button. Looking at the armrests in these seats, they are fixed in place and are quite large. On the left armrest, which is shared between me and my neighbor, there's a small cubby space for putting something, perhaps your earbuds or maybe garbage. Also stowed in this armrest is the tray table, which folds out for use. The tray table can be used in either a half or full-size configuration and is quite large and sturdy as well. About 40 minutes after takeoff, breakfast was served, along with a beverage service in which I opted for an orange juice, although alcohol was also available. Being in the last row of this cabin, I was the last one to get to pick my main meal choice. All that was left was the omelette, which I guess is the world telling me to eat healthier. I was fairly indifferent and have had both the pancakes and omelette before and enjoy them both. The omelette was served with roasted red skin potatoes, red pepper relish, cottage cheese, and a chicken sausage. Also on the tray we have a croissant which came cold and in a plastic bag, a bowl of fresh fruit, butter and strawberry jam, a salt and pepper packet, and a pot of blueberry yogurt. Real silverware and a cloth napkin were provided with the tray as well. Overall, the fruit was very fresh, the omelette was tasty, especially with the relish and the cottage cheese, and the croissant was tolerable, but definitely needs the jam. Meal service in premium economy on these longer domestic routes is one of the big ways that this service class stands out from standard economy class, where only a beverage service is provided and no snack or food of any kind. With breakfast cleared away, we've got another 2 hours and 20 minutes before arrival in Calgary. Stretching out in the seat, there's a footrest that folds down from the seat back in front and is just barely usable when you have a bag stored under the seat. Settling in to do some work on my laptop, you'll notice that there's tons of space to use a large laptop in these seats, and it doesn't feel cramped at all. This aircraft is equipped with Wi-Fi, though it is a paid service. To connect, you join the AC Wi-Fi network and go to the GoGo in-flight website, where you can view the different access packages available and some other limited info as well. In terms of access options, there are 3 different speed options, with the lowest designed for simple internet browsing and emails, and the highest designed for high-speed access, including streaming video. For the basic browse pass, 1 hour of Wi-Fi costs $7 Canadian or 700 Aeroplan points, while access for the duration of the flight is $11.25 or 1,150 Aeroplan points. On this Wi-Fi launch page, you can also view the weather at your destination, as well as the progress in the flight. Each seat also has access to a dedicated AC power outlet, so you won't run out of battery when working on the plane. Putting the seat into reclined position, these seats do recline a lot compared to those back in economy class, with about 7 inches of recline available. Even though seat 14K is the last row of this cabin, with a hard wall directly behind it, the recline isn't limited at all. The seat also has an adjustable headrest which slides up and down to accommodate different heights. Overall, this little cabin is very private, quiet, and comfortable. I really like the cabin lighting on Air Canada's 787s as well, as the color selections are very calming and refreshing, and it helps give the aircraft a modern feel. In terms of washrooms on board, for the premium economy cabin, there's a lavatory at the front of the cabin, in between premium and business. The lavatory is actually quite large and bright, and even has a window with a great view. There's a changing table, magnifying mirror, a bottle of hand soap, and bottles of hand lotion available as well. Another great feature on these 787s are the motion sensor faucets, which are much more user-friendly and cleaner than the push knobs. Returning to my seat and getting back to work, we have about an hour and 45 minutes to go before arrival. About an hour before landing, the crew came through with a selection of snacks, including Miss Vicky's potato chips, Kit Kats, and Lindt dark chocolate bars. Although I didn't get my first main meal choice because I was seated at the back of the cabin, the flight attendant was kind enough to offer me a second snack since everyone else had already been served, so there are some perks. The crew also came through with another drink service, in which I opted for a Diet Coke. The poor maple leaf on this glass, however, has seen better days. "30 minutes to go before arrival, and the cabin crew are beginning to prepare the aircraft for landing. Time to pack up my things and put my laptop away. After touching down at 10:33 a.m. local time, we're now taxiing over to our gate on Concourse C. Calgary Airport has 3 piers for domestic flights, which are the A, B, and C piers.
Thank you.
After deplaning, I'm headed down through the baggage claim hall on the lower level and out to the rental car center. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Now for some comments on the experience overall. In the 5 years since I last flew Air Canada's premium economy product, not a lot has changed. The seats and all aspects of the service are identical to what they were back in 2017 when the cabin first launched, and in my opinion, it's still a very solid product. The cabin is very private, quiet, and comfortable, and sits as a nice cut above standard economy class, with priority services to get you through the airport and a spacious seat with a full meal offering once on board. That being said, I do wonder how long before Air Canada updates the premium economy cabin across their wide-body fleet, as other airlines like Swiss and Lufthansa have already started announcing refreshed versions of their premium economy seats coming to their aircraft within a few years.